So I just wanted to let Apple know. Apple, the company, y'all are the biggest white supremacy scammers. One of the biggest white supremacy scammers I've ever known in my life. And there's been a lot, because y'all are pretty much scammers. But y'all one of the biggest. I ain't never liked Apple phones, computers, whatever. I ain't never liked Apple. I stick with Android forever. Why is it that my son wanted an Apple phone? Because everybody got an Apple phone. You know, people always gotta follow the trend for what I do not know, and it just affects my life and my pockets. Why is it that I gotta continue to pay $8 for him to simply download apps or to update them? What am I paying $8 for? And then I searched the internet, and then y'all were talking about, well, it's an unpaid balance. An unpaid balance of what? Of what? And there's nothing in the phone. There's no subscriptions. There's nothing. It's none of that going on. But Apple keeps wanting to charge $8 just for you to do something that's free. Apple is the biggest scammers I've ever known in my life. One of. I pay the bill every month to Spectrum. To download apps, you use the internet. You use the data services. And if I don't pay Apple $8, I can't use something that I've already paid for. I ain't never liked Apple, and I for sure don't like Apple. Now, I've never bought any Apple anything. Not a watch, not nothing. A computer, a phone, I never have. And I'm glad I never did, because y'all are scammers. I'm paying $8 for what? There's no subscription. It's nothing. But even if there was a subscription, how does a subscription stop you from updating your apps? What does that have to do with each other? And this is why white supremacy always find ways and loopholes to take money. To take money and to live scot-free. And to be all happy and rich and shit. Y'all some scammers. I'm still don't even know what I keep paying $8 for what. And I'm just like, you said you wanted this iPhone. I told you not to get this raggedy iPhone. They're trash. And now I got to pay $8. And I don't even know what I'm paying $8 for. I looked through everything. There's no subscriptions. It's nothing. And then I get on the internet and other people having the same problem. We paying money just to be able to download some stuff. And then when I took my cruise, I ended up leaving my phone in the car, which is a whole freaking mistake. So I'm telling my son, can't download the Carnival app. He can't download the Carnival app because we got to pay money to Apple to download the Carnival app. So you mean to tell me I got to pay Spectrum every month for internet and to be able to do everything? And then I got to turn around and then I got to pay Apple $8 extra to use my services. Apple, y'all are the biggest white supremacy scammers ever. I mean, white supremacy stays scamming. White supremacy stays scamming. Y'all are the biggest scammers ever. I'm still trying to figure out what the $8 is for. I don't even know what the $8 is for. I gotta pay Spectrum every month. And then gotta turn around and pay Apple. I don't even know what the $8 is for. Still to this day. He ain't had the phone for I think a year now. I still don't even know what the $8 is for. I mean, like within my son having it, within like 2 or 3 months of him having his phone, it was asking for money. So I still got to figure out what are we getting charged for. And y'all Wonder why Apple got a lot of money. That's why, because they scam. They're scammers. You scam. I have an Android. I don't have to pay nobody $8 to download nothing. I don't have to pay nobody $8 for shit. I don't have to pay $8 to update my apps. I don't have to pay an extra $8. But why is it that I have to pay an extra $8 for his phone when we have the same plan? I pay both for the phones. But I have to pay an extra $8 for his phone to work like my phone. And you trying to tell me that's not a scam? You trying to tell me ain't nothing wrong with that? I ain't never liked Apple. Never. I never care for Apple. Never. Everybody love to flex. For some reason, to me, when I'm not the type of person that go with the crowd, I don't care about what you have. I've always been that type of person. People have flexed in front of me, talking about they Apple Watch, they Apple computer, and I'm like, and I got an Android. What's your point? And I've never been that type of person. And then here go my son up in my house complaining to get an Apple phone or iPhone. And I gotta pay extra money. And you know I'm pissed off when I get on the internet complaining. Y'all are some scammers. White supremacy ass scammers. And I'm getting tired of it. And that's why Heavenly Father go get rid of this place. Because y'all some scammers. When I tell y'all, look through everything, trying to figure out what are we paying $8 for, I can't find nothing. I can't find nothing. And then is one part on Google that say, well, if it's asking for money, cut the phone off and cut it back on, and maybe that'll work. What? Maybe it'll work? So if you're supposed to cut the phone off and cut it back on, that means Apple is intentionally asking for $8. And you're not supposed to be giving it to them. Is it going to be some white person somewhere that start a lawsuit? Because get me in a lawsuit. Hurry up, get me in a lawsuit. It's got to be a lawsuit somewhere. Get me in on it. If Google is saying cut the phone off and cut it back on, and that should fix it, that means you are purposely asking for $8. You are purposely stopping somebody's phone from working because you are forcing people to pay money. And we think ain't nothing wrong with that. You think people out here don't understand what it is that you're doing. But I thought the $8 was for a subscription. What subscription? We don't even know what the subscription is for. And it tells you, look here, look here, look here, look there. Baby, I done looked. But I'm still trying to figure out, what does that $8 have to do with the phone being connected to Spectrum and can't download apps and can't update the apps? I haven't figured out that connection. That hasn't connected in my brain. What does that have to do with anything? Let me get out of here. Because I was sitting up here reading the Bible, just trying to be in peace. And then my son calls me every time when he calls me about this Apple bull crap. Let me go, y'all. Peace out.